Jenna's Surprise, written by Kelly Sanders, narrated by T.K. Love. One by one, we had passed our 18th birthdays, and with that milestone, we were finally able to go out and get royally hammered. I was lucky enough to belong to a wealthy family nestled deep in the leafy suburbs, and for a long time I was an only child. However, as the end of my school days appeared at the end of the tunnel, my parents announced that I was to be joined by a little sister. I was not particularly bothered by the news, as I had grown out of my hormonal teenage years very quickly. Jealousy was not my style, and I put all of my energy into training for the school football team, the Dragons. Keeping fit was one of my favorite ways to spend my time, and I could regularly be found in the school's small but adequate gym facilities. My arms had grown to the size of tree trunks, and my stomach resembled a mountain range as my skin coated the immense mass of muscular bumps. I was your average sports jock, with dark hair that shimmered like tall grass in the breeze, and a handsome square jaw. Suffice to say, I had practically every girl in school after me, and as we reached the final few weeks of school, I set my eyes on one girl in particular, Amy Winchester. It had been an awesome night out, always seemed to be the case with my ever-growing circle of friends. Early on, I spotted Amy entering the same bar as us, and I immediately locked on and refused to tear my eyes away from her, much to chagrin of the girls who were trying to seduce me. However, as the night progressed, my attempts to woo sweet Amy were falling on deaf ears. I couldn't tell if she was playing hard to get or simply wasn't interested. Her cute smile suggested that she wanted me, and yet every time I offered to buy her a drink or came over to talk to her, my path was diverted by a blockade of her friends, most of whom seemed to have bathed in perfume prior to going out. Eventually, my friends started to filter off a few at a time, leaving just me and a couple of others in our group. So I gave up and made for home with nothing to show for my efforts. In the taxi ride home, I cursed Amy's persistent blocking of my advances and tried to calm my sexual frustration. For the past few hours, I had thought about little else than taking her somewhere quiet, whether it was her parents' house or down a back alley, and fucking her until she could no longer walk. My cock had been throbbing with anticipation all night long, and leaving the club empty-handed had been the epitome of an anticlimax. Not even the previous year's final match with the neighboring Warriors had been so disappointing. The stash of dirty magazines under my bed would be getting a workout that night, I was sure. However, as I paid the taxi driver and stumbled upon the garden path, I noticed that the front room lamp was dimly lit. My parents were out at a wedding reception and were not due back for at least another hour. I flung the door open and walked inside, stomping around with my drunken flat feet as I removed my shoes and hung up my jacket. The stairs were directly opposite the doorway.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?